Hi everyone. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much, JC, for the opportunity to present here at APIsec. My name is Al-Amir. I am a security engineer, and most importantly, I am an ambassador at APIsec University. I will be talking about hacking mobile APIs, right? The techniques that we can use to intercept mobile APIs and how we can protect our mobile applications, our mobile applications and our organization's applications against some of these techniques, right? Yeah. So, why do you think API security in mobile application is very important, right? Okay, so um, APIs are the backbones, right? Like why they are important is because like they are the backbones of modern mobile applications, right? Um, as they are responsible for like over 85% of the functionality of we can see it clearly, okay? As they are responsible for like over 85% of the functionalities in a mobile application, right? And they also facilitate the data exchange between the mobile application and the API servers, right? Another thing that makes APIs to be mobile APIs to be very important is because they are prime targets for attackers because they carry a lot of sensitive data with them. What you might be seeing on your mobile screen might not be what the API is returning, right? The API might be returning a lot more data than what you are seeing on your screen. uh yeah, so let's talk about like in 2024 um published a report where they said over 130 million users of Dell, Twilio, Trello, Optus, and Internet Archive were affected by API attacks, right? From broken authentication to broken object level authorization, broken object property level authorization, and the likes, right? With Dell's affected customers being 49 million users. Okay, all right. Let's talk about common API vulnerabilities in mobile. Bear with me, guys. I was gonna wrap up with this boring stuff so that we can go into the practical stuff, right? One of the common vulnerabilities in mobile application is inadequate authentication, right? In OWASP API, we call it broken authentication, right? And I have like seen a lot of mobile applications where after reverse engineering the binary, you get to find things like developers username and password hard coded in the binary, or things like API key, or even JSON Web Token, our JWT, being stored in the binary, right? Um, and the developer will be thinking, okay, there's no way our customers can be able to, they don't have that technicality to be able to decompile this binary to find what we've hidden in the application, right? Another one is insufficient encryption, right? Um, and this is very common with a lot of mobile applications, with a lot of developers, because they just build and ship, right? They usually don't do things around like they usually don't encrypt data in transit. They also don't try to secure the application in such a way that if you try to proxy the application's traffic to Burp Suite, you can be able to do it with ease, right? Meanwhile, some of these frameworks like Flutter I know that Flutter has they have a default SSL pinning functionality that this developer hide behind to claim that their mobile applications are secured. But attackers, even security researchers, we the security researchers, we've evolved that we now know how to bypass some of these encryption, right? Another one is excessive data exposure. We all know from our broken object property level authorization, which is the combination of excessive data exposure and mass assignment. APIs, like I said, what you might be seeing on your screen might be different from what the API is actually returning to your device, right? If you lack the technical abilities to, intercept and review the API response, you might not know the extent at which at which your data has been leaked by the API, right? And this is this makes API exploitation a juicy thing for attackers, because they know that once they are able to exploit something like excessive data exposure. Excessive data exposure can also lead to another vulnerability, which is called mass assignment, right? Something like saying is admin is false, something like saying your balance to, like, you're registering and you are seeing your balance, something that tells the user that, okay, we have this functionality, although you are not allowed to do it, but you are not allowed to use this functionality, but we have it, right? They are telling the customers that we are showing you this hidden functionality, but you should not abuse it, right? And you can't trust users, even normal users that are not malicious. You can't trust them with that kind of rules, right? I would say the most important for me, the most important API vulnerability out there, or I would say the most dangerous API vulnerability out there is lack of rate limiting, right? Because with lack of rate limiting, you can exploit, several security vulnerabilities in application, right? Things around BOLA, or as we call it, insecure direct object reference, right? Lack of rate limiting gives you that room to be able to iterate IDs, right? To be able to enumerate IDs to now, guess the correct ID. Lack of rate limiting can help attacker to brute force someone's account. Lack of rate limiting can help attackers to enumerate subdomains. They can also leverage lack of rate limiting to enumerate directories. Talk about anything that allows the users to misuse your resource consumption, right? Exactly. So these are, common API vulnerabilities in mobile application. Next on the slide, yeah. So I am practically done with the boring stuff for now. I will now be sharing my screen to show us a demonstration of how we can install a mobile application on an emulator, how we can set up its proxy and all of those Burp Suite certificates on the device, and how we can start intercepting the mobile API calls. JC, um, is it possible to share my screen?
Whoops, my mic's muted. Yeah. Oh, you got it right there, man. Let me bring this down, bring this back up. All right, you're good to go.
Oh, awesome. Is my screen visible, guys? Please, Jesse, can you confirm that for me if my screen is visible?
I can see it fine.
Awesome.
Click
Right.
you're on
So
stage now.
to be able to show us like ways in which we can intercept in which we can hack mobile applications, right? I won't be breaking the law by using like a live, like a real world mobile application, right? So there is this project I worked on, which I called Von Bank Mobile. After this call, after this presentation, I will share the links for everyone. Right? It's a deliberate vulnerable bank application that everyone can install and start testing right away. Right? You don't need to do all the difficult stuff. To download the APK, all you need to do is to come to this release section, and it will take you to these assets, right? For me, I have already downloaded, but if you want to download, all you need to do is to click on this link to get it downloaded. All right. So I have the APK here, which I called Von Bank 2 APK. So to install the mobile application, all I need to do is to drag this binary and drop it in the mobile application, and wait for the installation to complete. And as you can see, we have the application running on the mobile device, right? We can try to register an account. Let's use something like REST to create an account. While that is happening, um, like I said, to be able to proxy just the way we have web application penetration testing, before you can be able to capture the web traffic, if you are not using Chromium, let's say you're using an external browser, you need to set up like a proxy, you need to set up like a certificate, install, and all of these things. It is similar to mobile application. We have two ways. You can either go through the route of doing it manually, right, by going to settings. When you get to settings, you go to network and internet. Oh, the device is okay. If you go to settings, you go to network and internet. I don't know why it is. I don't know why the mobile device is crashing. All right, so I guess we will automate the process, right? To automate the process, I have also, I wrote a bash script that can help anyone out there to automate this process of setting up the certificates and automatically proxying your mobile traffic to Burp Suite, right? All you need to do is to come here, you copy and clone this project. After you've cloned it, you will have something like this, right? You have something like Android config. If we cd into this directory, config, if we cd into this directory and do ls, we can see a bunch of files that are similar to what we have here, right? We can see setup proxy.sh, we can see mobile config.sh, we can see these two guys there. For you, you have to give it permissions, follow the README to be able to set this up yourself. I have already given it permission. All I need to do is to run this script to be able to set up the Burp Suite certificate, right? But before I can do that, I need to go to my Burp Suite, go to proxy settings, select this URL or this interface, and hit edit, right? Then I will select all interfaces, and that is it, right? I want to listen on all interfaces, and it should bind the traffic to port 8080, and I'll click on save, and I can close the proxy settings. Coming back to my terminal, I can run this mobile config script. It will help me to download the certificate from Burp Suite and help me to install that certificate into my mobile device, right? So once I paste it and I run it, as you can see, it downloaded the Burp certificate. It's as you can see, we can see port trigger and all of those things. After doing that, it pushed the certificate into the device, and as you can see, we got certificate setup complete. What can we do next? What we have to do next is to run this set proxy.sh, and we can automatically start capturing traffic from the mobile device to Burp Suite, right? I will also, so let me just clear, and I can run this with set, right? I have two keys. I can either use on set to turn off the proxy or use set to set the proxy. And as you can see, I have set the proxy, and whatever thing I do on this mobile device will be captured by Burp Suite, right? So let's test it. I'll just search Google, and as you can see, we have our traffic dropping already. Google wants me to do something, so I'll just close it for now, and I can clear this HTTP history, right? So let's go back to the mobile application, which is Von Bank. Now, if we try to register again, hopefully, we can pay attention to this section of the screen to see if the traffic will drop, right? So username, I can give it JC. Password, I can also give it JC, right? This is a typical example of broken authentication, right? Which on the slide I called inadequate authentication, right? Imagine allowing a customer to use this weak credential to create an account. And as you can see, we got registration successful, proceed to login, right? And we can see that the traffic has started dropping. So I want us to pay attention to this message, right? What I am seeing as a user is registration successful, proceed to login. What I am seeing as, let's say, an attacker that has been able to intercept this API request, you can see that I am seeing more than registration successful, proceed to login. I am seeing more than that, right? I can see debug data from the response headers. I can see some data that are not supposed to be exposed to the customer, right? This is a typical example of excessive data exposure, right? I can also see that I can see the account number. I can see that this user JC has a balance of $1,000, and it is showing me that okay, it has registered it has registered this account on this fields in the database, right? We have username. It has registered JC on the username field, and its password as well, and account number. And it is telling me something like is admin is false, right? What is it telling me? It is trying to tell me that okay, there is a functionality called is admin false. What's going to happen if I try to add that to my request body, right? Which is what we call mass assignment in API security, right? So I can send this to repeater. We'll come back to analyze this information. So for now, let's try to see if we can be able to capture more traffic. I will go ahead to log in with JC. JC. And as you can see, now we are in the dashboard, and we instantly saw that another request called login has just dropped, right? We've been able to intercept another request, and we can see we can also see the JWT. We can see other information like its admin is false and the account number. of this person. So if I keep on interacting with the functionality, I'll just bring this down a little bit. If I keep on interacting with the functionality, you can see that the traffic is dropping. Transaction history, we can see something. We can see a traffic called transaction. Loans, we can also see another traffic. If I try to request for a loan, let's say $10, we got loan request submitted, blah blah blah. We can also see that traffic. If I review, you can see amount is $10 and we got loan request successful. Let's try to transfer money and see if there is anything around transfer money and like fund transfer, right? So there's an account number called admin001, and let me try to transfer $100. And in the description I can put APIsec and I'll hit transfer. And if I come to this place, I got transfer of $100 to account admin001 was successful. And if I come to this on traffic, I can also see the same thing, right? I can see from account, this is my account number, to account, the admin account number and the amount, right? What happens if I can be able to tamper with this request? And is it going to is it going to reflect on the application? If I try to check my balance, I can see that I have $900. Let's try to see, can we tamper with this account? If I try to send money again to the admin, I can see that the balance is 800. If we go out and we check the balance again, we see that we have hit $800. What if I add like a negative value in front of this amount, and let's say I inflate the amount to $500, right? What is going to happen? Now we got a response that transfer complete, and as you can see, my balance just increased from $800 to $1,300. And if I want to confirm here, I can go out and check the balance again. And as you can see, we've been able to exploit transfer endpoint without doing anything on the mobile, right? Remember that we saw like a registration endpoint at some point. So I'll go back to that. This is the registration endpoint. If I try to register, we are getting something like username already exists, right? So I'll just add another username, JC, and I will send the request. Now we've been able to create another account, and now I want us to exploit this excessive data exposure and chain it with mass assignment, which is what we call broken object property level authorization, popular, right? In our OWASP API top 10. So I'll just copy this guy and I will bring it here. I will add it as part of my request, and I will change it from false to true, right? And we can also see something like balance. What happens? Can we also inflate our balance? Let's check to see if it is possible, right? I can change this balance to, let's say, five or $500 million. I don't know, and I can just change the username again to JC2, right? Or let's give it APIsec APIsec APIsec. And if I send this request, we got an error. If we try it again, as you can see, we've been able to create an account with a balance of, is this $500 million, and we've also been able to change that is admin from false to true, right? Can we confirm? So I will go back to the mobile application and I will log out, and I'll try to log in with this account that we just created, right? APIsec password is JC. And if I log in, if we check our balance, as you can see, our balance reflects, right? And the crazy thing about hacking mobile application is that, like a lot of organizations reuse the APIs, right? Like that is the importance of building APIs so that you can reuse it in like on different platforms. If you have web application, mobile, desktop application, you can use a single API for all the platform, right? Imagine a situation where, okay, yeah, we know that there is no functionality around. We've been able to. We are now an admin, right? But how can I check? How can I confirm if I actually have that admin privilege, right? We don't have that functionality on mobile application, but because some companies do have like a web version of their fintech application, we can actually confirm that, right? So if you look at here, we have like the host, which is this URL. I'll copy this URL. I will take it to the web browser, and we'll see. So this is the web version of this mobile application, right? And we've just created a user. We've just escalated the privilege of a user from a normal customer to an admin, right? Let's see, like, can we be able to get anything from that? So I'll log in with the user we escalated his privilege. As you can see, we still get to see our $500 million or something. We still get to see it here. And if we scroll down, we can see something like admin panel, right? Which we do not have on the mobile side, right? So if I go to the admin panel, now we are truly an admin and we can start deleting anyone. I created JC1 the other time. I created JC the other time. I can delete JC. And if we look at this place, we see something like account deleted successfully. We can also apply for a loan, right? I can go to this place. I can apply for like a huge amount of loan. Numeric overflow. Okay. Let me just reduce the number. I've been able to submit a loan, and if I reload this, as you can see, we now have a request I just submitted. Imagine a situation where a bank customer is able to request for a loan via the mobile application, but because they've been able to escalate their privilege, they can now approve that loan that they've requested for. And if we go back to the dashboard, the
Hey,
balance has
Al-Amir,
now increased.
so
Yeah.
sorry to interrupt. We're coming up short on time, and I would
Okay.
love for people to have a few minutes to ask you some questions.
All right. All right. So let me just run.
You've shown off so many great skills. Do you have any like last things that you want to absolutely show before I cut you off for Q&A?
Yeah. So let me go back to the screen. Can you bring up my slide again?
Sure.
Yeah. I need to talk about like the defense
This one here?
strategies that we can use to protect ourselves from this kind of issue, right? So the first on the list is to implement strong authentication and authorization mechanism, right? Make sure that before, make sure that you enforce a very robust what's it called, password policy during registration and during login. Another one is data minimization and encryption. This is the most important part of mobile application, right? You want to make sure that you are encrypting your data in transit, which would have prevented me from intercepting these API calls, right? There's something we call an SSL pinning. Some call it certificate pinning, which would have also prevented me from being able to proxy the mobile traffic to Burp Suite. Another one is
Mhm.
to um, yeah, encryption of sensitive data at rest. A lot of developers store some data on the customer's mobile device, right? If you don't have any choice than to store a data on a customer's device, make sure that you are encrypting those data, right? Using things like secured shared pref and other things out there. Another thing is rate limiting and throttling. Remember, I said like rate limiting can lead to all sorts of API attacks. You want to make sure that you you limit the number of requests that your users can make within a period of time. And you also want to make sure that you have like limits around file size, right? File sizes. Let's say you want to request for a loan and they need to upload a certain document, right? You want to make sure that you cap the file size to, let's say, a certain kilobytes or a certain megabytes. The most important thing of all is to have like a regular security testing processes in place, right? As I've just shown us how we can be able to manually do the API security testing by capturing the API and testing the API. Another way is to use automated tools like Corey mentioned during the first stage, right? That he uses APIsec scanner to do all the like to automate all the boring stuff for him. Imagine you have to
Yeah,
test a mobile application that contains like over 200 API endpoints, right? How many weeks or months is that going to take you to have like an exhaustive test coverage? Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
So
Thank you so much, Alamir.
thank you very much
We're yeah, we're running out
for
of time, but if you guys have
yeah.
questions, I'm actually going to. I mean, Alamir's in chat; he'll be around today. And then join our Discord; he's in there as well. Post questions for him. His LinkedIn got posted. He's happy to teach and an outstanding teacher, as you all just got to see. I'm gonna keep it moving, Alamir, to get our next guests up here. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, JC.